The Yeti Witch attack strategy is often considered the easiest and strongest spam strategy that you can use at Town Hall 13. How to use the army, how to identify bases, and of course what the army composition is everything I condensed down for you to get 3 stars consistent. With that being said, there are 2 distinct versions of the Yeti Witch, one being a spam version that most of us will probably use, alongside a more surgical version including the use of a queen charge, a different siege machine, and the recall spell. So speaking of the army composition, let's go through this for the spam version. This is mainly going to consist of 9 Yetis and 9 Witches. This is a really good combination. Outside of that, you've got 8 Earthquake spells, or Octoquake for short, alongside using 1 Rage and 1 Poison. The CC usually can be any sort of combination of tanks, but I typically recommend the use of Yetis, 2 free spells, and the Log Launcher. You can bring in the use of the Wall Wrecker, but why would you want to do that over something that can break walls from a distance? As this is a pretty simple spam army, you're specifically looking for bases that you have the Eagle on one side and the Town Hall on the other. You're also looking for single target Infernos, as this is going to make it much easier for your witches to spawn skeletons and make sure that that defense is distracted. You want to make sure that you have a base that has the scatters and the Infernos within the base, so they're more than easy to get rid of, and they should be able to have their compartments opened up quite easily with the use of 8 Earthquake spells. Since this strategy can work on a nice variety of bases that specifically have single target Infernos, there's really only one step to this attack, which is spam. But you always want to start with a little bit of funnel. That's where I would recommend 3 Yetis on one side with 2 Witches, alongside a Yeti and 2 Witches on the other side. Bringing in super wall breakers in the corners actually helps provide much more of a funnel, which is why I typically recommend it. You then want to use your 8 Earthquake spells to open up the base. As you move yourself in with your Yetis, Witches, Heroes, and the Log Launcher, you'll want to make sure that you use an early Rage spell to push all the Yetis, the Skeletons, and the Witches, and just before you use your Grand Warden ability, use your Barbarian King ability. That King ability is going to be fantastic at allowing you to remove more structures and of course deal with the enemy clan castle. Delaying the Warden ability is really nice. With that being said, free spells are really good at making sure to really freeze up and keep a hold on things like the Town Hall, Scatters, Expos, or even stuff like a Warden Altar or a single target Inferno, which can be really, really good things at allowing you to move yourself through. Another nice thing about this is you don't really need to have completely maxed heroes at Town Hall 13 for this. Even if they're just midway maxed out, they can work incredibly well with this strategy. So even though this doesn't work with rushed heroes, this can actually work really, really well as long as your hero levels are mid-level for Town Hall 13. Now, I'm sure a lot of us are fans of Yetis, but also not really a huge fan of using spam attacks all the time. They could get boring. Well, why not take the Yeti and Witch combination into a Smash-style format, making this crazy thing. This is a really strong version of this that can actually work really well against multi-target Infernos. What's really cool about this is you're only bringing 7 Yetis and 4 Witches, leaving the rest of it to be support and cleanup troops that can really help your army. While this might not be as fast as the regular Yeti Witch, it's an incredibly strong version that you will want to try out. Unlike the traditional Yeti Witch spam version, this has more options since you can go in to multi and single target Inferno bases or attack away from the Eagle artillery as long as you can path towards it. This is a really strong opportunity. However, there are some limitations. You want to make sure that what you're doing is moving in with a queen charge to the Town Hall and of course the clan castle. These are 2 things that you need to remove, but you also got the recall spell to recall her out of there, so it should be a quick charge. Usually the Town Hall should be more on the outside. You also have a siege machine that is mainly going in to get value. This includes stuff such as the Eagle artillery, scatter shots, and even an Inferno. This is a really unique way of being able to either set the funnel or just get value off of the base, which can be a huge help. Just be very careful of Expos and Teslas, skeleton traps, and even mortars that are more placed inwards in the base. Other than that, the smash is just going to go right through, as long as you have both wall breakers or even the use of jump spells as you move yourself across the base. So if I'm hitting a base, what do I do first? Well, you're going to be starting off with the use of 3 different things. One is the Flame Flinger. Try to snipe down any mortars if they're more towards the outside of the base. Otherwise, make sure that you're able to get some of that damage onto them. You want to mainly use that Flame Flinger to go for something that is vulnerable, like the Eagle Artillery, Scatter, or Inferno, as long as it's not being protected by any sort of Expo, Teslas, or Skeleton Traps, or even other mortars. Of course, you've also got the Queen Charge. That Queen Charge is going in for the Town Hall and the Clan Castle troops. Always use a Rage spell as you move in, so you're able to deal with that alongside the Poison spell. You've also got free spells that you can use to mitigate a lot of the damage from the Town Hall, other defenses around there, and of course, the enemy Clan Castle. Now, another thing that you have to do is set up the funnel on the other side, which is your secondary funnel. This is usually using the Barbarian King and the Yeti, which will allow you to pretty much create one part of your funnel, so you're able to then recall your queen safely and send her in with the Yetis and the Witches. Now, the entire first part was all just funneling. You can now have a little bit more fun because you can send in the Yetis and the Witches. You just need to enter the base with either wall breakers or the use of a jump, or if there's open wall segments on different pro bases, this is really good. A nice early rage and warren ability is always a must with this, as it will allow you to pretty much start moving in really quickly. What's so nice about this strategy is the fact of how many spawnables you have. Skeletons, Yeti Mites, Yetis, the heroes, you have so much at your disposal that the multi-infernos won't be able to really touch the witches at all. There's just too many spawnables that are on the field. This is why you use the Royal Champion on the back end of the base. As long as other defenses are solely focused on the spawnables and of course the Yetis, and making sure to have that Royal Champion on the back end will help you clean up the rest of those other defenses, and it makes it super easy as you get towards the latter half of the attack. Other than that, it's a really strong strategy. Just make sure that you're not making the common mistake of using this against the wrong base design or not setting enough of a funnel. Make sure that your jump spells are really crisp, and as you're able to move through for an easy 3-star with a simple spam army turned surgical. A nice fun fact for you guys is actually that the Yeti Witch Smash attack was actually nothing more than a Town Hall 14 versus Town Hall 14 attack that I made into a Town Hall 13 army. So it goes to show that this army is incredibly good, not just at Town Hall 13, but also at Town Hall 14. Make sure you guys check out another simple spam army that you guys might like, the Super Go-Ite, but also YouTube says this video is right for you.